Show me what you got!
Another week and another episode here of To Be Frank. I'm Jake Reiser.
I'm Dan Schulman.
And I'm Jordan Tebow.
And for last week's seminar, talking about getting our first jobs, we had Brian McPherson of the Providence Journal and Catherine Donovan, executive producer at the Western Massachusetts News Organization that oversees ABC 40 in Springfield, Fox 6, and CBS 3, as well as a part of the Meredith Corporation. It's a lesson that's going to apply to all of us right now immediately as graduating seniors. We need to find that first job, and it was definitely tough for me to hear what they were saying and figure out how to apply it, because sometimes it just feels overwhelming. But, you know, you got to just get the numbers in, apply to as much stuff as possible, have confidence in your work, and figure something out.
Yeah, and it's not the first time we've heard that message, Jake. It is going to be a difficult time getting that first job because it's tough to crack into anything. I think the most resonant thing Catherine said was her first comment where she said sports is a hard road. And the three of us, we all want to do sports journalism in some sort of way, and it's not going to be easy. We're not going to get to the top right away. I know we have all our big dreams and aspirations, but we have to start small and work our way up. And if we're confident, like you said, we should be able to.
Yeah, and like you said, I liked a lot of what Catherine had to say in terms of it is a hard road, and the path that she took was a little bit different than everybody else's. But now she's at a spot where she's happy, and it took her a while, and that's a lot of what we heard throughout the entire seminar this semester. It's that to end up in the spot that you really want to be, sometimes you got to go outside the box, and Brian and Catherine both had the same thing to say about that. And Brian's road was certainly different as he went out to North Dakota. I know we've been talking about that throughout, To Be Frank, just going out there and getting that first job and getting experience and being that guy at the smaller platform.
Something that came up in Professor Shore's blog was that it's easier to find jobs now. And so I want to ask you guys, where are you finding jobs? Not necessarily where in the country you're looking, but where in the world are you finding jobs? On boards? Are you asking people? How are you finding them?
A combination of asking people, just using contacts and people to the best of your ability, seeing if there are any jobs. Doesn't matter. You can't be picky at this stage. Because you haven't paid your dues yet. As soon as you pay your dues, then you can be a little more picky. But really just asking people, looking online, seeing what there is, and just taking a shot.
Yeah, there's a million different avenues. I mean, LinkedIn I know isn't the greatest. They sometimes post stuff. Indeed.com is really good. And then TV jobs, work in sports, but I think that's a paid.
Yes.
But that looks incredible if you do get the subscription. And then just asking around, asking people that you've worked with before, to see if anything's available in different networks, different stations, and just keeping your ears open, and just if anything opens, just go out there and take it, and make it the best that you can make it.
I flagged a lot of companies on Indeed and on Glassdoor, and I get an email every day with anything that's opened up, any reviews that are put on for the companies, any salaries. And it's networking. I completely agree. It's who you know. It's how well you know them. And it's also a lot of your work. I never network without first saying to someone, let me send you my resume so you can get a better sense of my background. You always want to present as whole a case for yourself as possible. You don't want to say things that are empty or miss something, because you could miss something that's very important. So always giving someone the complete sense of who you are is huge in this time right now.
It absolutely is who you know in a lot of situations, because you might be qualified enough to get a job, but someone got it over you because they had an in with the person hiring, or they had an in with someone higher up in the organization. A lot of times that's what happens. And, the more you network, the more you get your name out there, shake hands, make eye contact, make that good first impression. I think that stands out a lot more to someone than reading a person's resume who they've never seen, never met before. If you're impressive enough where you can you meet the qualifications for a job, but at the same time you make a good impression on the person who you need to make a good impression on, then you should be pretty set. It's just about networking, really, and doing it properly.
Oh, absolutely. And you have to go networking as much as you can, whether it be on social media. I've sat down with Professor Shore and I've been like, hey, I may know X person from writing XYZ. And we'll just follow people on Twitter and I'll ask, hey, can I get a follow back and can we direct message? And it's all about making connections wherever you can.
Yeah, and another thing that Professor Shore went over in class was it was actually the week before this week. It was a little bit of like a, we had the pizza, everybody was together talking about things. And he brought up the ESPN opportunity. And there was, I think, 3 positions that they were looking to hire people for. It's kind of like an associate's program, a 1-year program. So there's stuff out there. I mean, you really got to look. You got to ask people. And I know it's going to be a struggle for a lot of people, a lot of us. And you just got to hit the bricks, like Professor Shore said in his blog post.
And so to finish out here on this episode, as Professor Shore says, we're hitting the bricks. And I don't mean to ask this in an antagonistic way. I mean this with sincere curiosity. What are your plans for after college? What do you hope happens?
Well, the hope obviously is to land somewhere. And that goes without saying, is to get a job, because that's the main reason why you go to college in the first place, is to get enough qualifications to get a job. But the plans right now are to start small for me personally, because I know I'm not going to jump right into everything. I know I'm not going to be a bigwig at a sports newspaper or a beat reporter for one of the top teams in the country or in the world. But starting small, the more bylines you get, whether it's pro bono or if it's just a wipe up story at the Globe where I work part time. That's seen as paying your dues. You get more views, you get more responsibility, and you just work your way up. But the plan for me really is to get a job doing something I love. I'm hopeful that there is something out there for me, and the more I get my name out, the more I get my resume out, shake some hands, make a good impression, then I think I can land somewhere. And that's on a personal note.
Mm-hmm. You're looking print, right?
Print or web content, online social media, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe radio too.
Radio, especially too. It all really just depends. I'm doing an internship this summer, so maybe at the end of it, I'll ask if I can freelance for them in the future.
Yeah, and for me, I'm mainly looking around this area just because I got some stuff going on. Relationships that I kind of have to keep within this area, which is a bummer, but. I think, I'm going to just keep my head down and just try to look for something small, but within the area, within the New England area, and then, try to start there. I'm really into radio. I would love to do radio production or TV production. I think production I've really fallen in love with in the last few years, and I think that, my time at EEI over the summer kind of got me into that. And so, yeah, that's basically my plan, trying to stay within the area and see if there's anything around. I know it's going to be tough, but hey, it's life.
Yeah. It's tough for me to leave here. I am leaving Boston for now, and I say for now in all its sincerity because, I don't know, I came to Boston for a reason, and I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I realized that this is a place that means a lot to me, and just like you, Jordan, I have relationships here that I really, really want to keep. And so Boston is in my plans in the future. But for now, I know I have to leave and build my career at least a little bit before I come back here and find a position that maybe I deserve at that point, but something that just I really love. And so I know that I have to leave here first before I can come back and get that type of a job. And so for all of us here, we've got one more week. It's going to be a trying week, I think, for all of us emotionally and just mentally trying to push through it. And
stinks. It just stinks.
It's more trying in that, after next week, where the whole group of us is really breaking up, sort of like it's kind of like a Swedish House Mafia. They're still doing their own individual stuff, and they're still all great individually, but as a group, they won't exist anymore.
Yep.
But we'll be back one more time here on To Be Frank. But for now, alongside Jordan Tebow and Dan Shulman, I'm Jake Reiser signing off.
I like what you got. Good job.